Namaste people, welcome to another episode of Get Set Green Season 2. I'm your host Pooja Arvi. In this podcast, I talk to change makers who are working to develop innovative solutions for environmental betterment and sustainability, as well as to inspire sustainable living. Today, we have Sekar DC, founder and director of Alphamers Ltd and Beta Tank Robotics Private Limited, and we also have design engineer Srinivasan from Alphamers. Sekar is a retired captain in Merchant Navy who is extremely passionate about mathematics and physics. With deep passion to bring innovation to solve problems, he started Alphamers Limited and they have built up floating trash barriers to prevent the floating waste from entering into the river bodies. Welcome to the show, Sekar and Srinivasan.
Hi Pooja, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
And
And
also,
thanks for calling me for the podcast.
yeah, pleasure is ours, sir, having you on the show.
Hi Pooja.
Hello. So, to give a brief introduction about what Alphamers does is, so Alphamers is the brainchild or Jaker, I can say, because he was an ex-Navy merchant captain, and being there, understanding the water bodies, he developed his passion towards innovation, and as well as he came up with the new solutions for that as well, for the given the fact that the growing pollution. And also, Alphamers, they have built various products wherein we can address the first one is like river and lake trash barriers. So what they basically do is like they maintain the trash in such a way that they are stopping it from entering the ocean. So which is in a way great one. And also they is also director of another company which is Beta Tank Robotics Private Limited, where they are working more on making hydraulic robots for desilting and various such applications. So this is all just a brief introduction about them, and I know I cannot do justification for that completely. So I hope that we get to know them about like more and more about what their amazing work. So can you tell us what was the thing like which you made into coming into this innovation sector? Because as we already know, you were a captain and you are having a nice job which you had. So how what is the transition that you take? Can you please explain that part?
Yes, during my course of my sea career, I was going to different countries, and you do find that many countries have taken very good care of their water bodies. And when I used to stand in front of them, I used to wonder why not in India?
Correct.
Why not we do the same thing in India? And that thought built up inside me. And I said, I must do something about it. We spend a lot of time sitting with friends and discussing, he should do this right, he should do that, and the government should do this, they should do this.
Mm-hmm.
But one day we say, okay, forget everybody, let me get up and do something. And this is about few years back, 7 to 8 years back. And today we have having a solution that is deployed in 8 cities and it is written about in international media and all that.
Yeah,
That's it.
amazing, Shekhar, because I totally agree with you on that point. We sit and we always contemplate saying, we try to blame, like the situations where we are in instead of trying to solve the exact situation in which we are already. So I do agree on that. But and also kudos to your team, like your present your work, which is like this trash barriers is present in 8 cities in India, which is like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Coimbatore, Chennai, Mysore, and yeah, I forgot one place. Tuticorin, is it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, sure. So I'm not wrong there. So these,
Tanjavur and Tuticorin.
yeah, correct. So that sounds amazing that you're working towards something like that. And also, Srinivasan, can you elaborate on the part wherein like what will be the designing part aspect of that?
Yeah. The design aspect of in Alphamers and Beta,
Hmm.
those two, we are focusing on the solution for the various problems. So our first thumbnail is making the prototype for various problems, as Shekhar says told. No? So accordingly, we make the design, and the technology we use the all tool edge technologies we are using for making the designs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Rome was not built in a day. For every innovation, we need certain aspects of it, like prototypes, particular designs. And
Yes.
I
Yeah.
understand being an engineer that there will be lots of, trial and error in the systems, in the products which you make. Yeah, that's
Yes.
commendable that
Yes.
you guys, are in such a position today that you successfully
Mm.
executed those projects. Yeah. And
Yeah.
also,
Even though
Shekhar,
we don't have any.
yeah, please continue.
Yes. Yeah. Even though we don't have any comparisons or benchmarking to do the reverse engineering something, we are doing our own. We are doing our own technology development.
Yeah.
So this is interesting and complicated in the design part in our company.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, like
Yeah.
if I am not wrong, this is 100% developed in India, designed in India, and it's like the solution which
Yeah.
you guys are working on. Also, so I would
Yes.
like to ask you, Shekhar, when you started all these things, is there, any difficulties which you faced, or like, let me put it in this way. Can you tell us, the three things or the learnings which you got in this journey from, starting from all these 5, 7 years of work and then actually putting it to the field and, seeing in the market how it works?
Yes. Okay, let me tell you, entrepreneurs come in various ways. Some people are have got a very clever money mind
Mm.
and they build their revenue model according to that. And now we are one of those companies that had technical solutions, and we know we can solve problems, and we build our business model around that. So what happens is a person who is smart at developing solutions, he thinks he will be sitting down and then discussing design all the time, but in real life, everything from implementation to the payments to administration, the regulatory, they all come on your table. This is something I must tell any young entrepreneur that maybe I close my eyes and I think design. Maybe Srinivas closes his eyes and thinks design. We don't think market share and top lines. But those
Correct.
are also the facts of life. They, when you open your eyes, they are there staring at you. The cash flows, regulatory, taxation, all these responsibilities. So they take away some of your energy. And if you grow well enough, you are able to focus more on the design, on the solutions. That is one part of it. Other part of it, I will mention innovation has two aspects. One is thinking out of the box.
Yes.
This thinking out of the box doesn't require formal training. It is the way our mind works. You do not have to have practical ideas. You have to let your mind free. And the human mind is one of the best design machines.
True. Yes.
And the human body is one of the best designed objects. So you have to conceive the design. And the second part is the engineering part, how you engineer it into a product that fits, that's a good market fit. So you need to get both of it right. The second part requires qualified people, formally trained people who know what they are doing exactly. The first part is allowing your mind to be free. When I had a problem in the beta tank with the heating coils, you have heating coils over there. They're like pipes at 50 centimeters. So we knew we have to make a robot that either goes underneath, is so compact, or is something that can jump over the heating coils. I was imagining in my mind a six-legged dog that can go over that, and then imagine what can it can do, and then you turn around and then see can I engineer that. So that's broadly how we approach this whole thing. Incidentally, Srinivas is one of those rare people who has his hands on the drawing. At the same time, he knows exactly how to take it to the shop floor and make a fabricate that. Many of the people I know who are drawing, who are more, they are drawing people. They do not know the shop floor realities. So he is one person who is bridging that distance from the drawing board to the shop floor. That is a big asset. Yeah, Pooja, go on.
Yeah, yeah, that's totally correct, Shekhar. For I do agree that today in this modern world, somewhere, we have forgot that our brains are like our human capacity is much more. I can say like the capacities even the supercomputers have that might seem, like exaggeratingly very good. We cannot deny that fact, but it's even we are not less in any way. So that's what, like, everyone should, start thinking that way, that instead of deploying other resources, which is very much needed, but we should not limit ourselves, the way of thinking, the innovation. It may be not only this entrepreneurial journey, even in the normal life of every citizen or any person on this earth, they should have this quality and imbibe these characters. Yeah, that was truly said, and it was such a wise way of saying it. It was truly nice. And also, the Alphamers company has received this award, for cleaning and restoring India's water bodies challenge from 2021. So, can you please elaborate on this part, please? What is this mission and what is this challenge also?
Yes, this is a challenge initiated by the Office of Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India, along with Invest India. They both try to do a lot of sustainability initiatives around the country. So they put up a
Okay.
challenge, and that's exactly the challenge for the rejuvenating the water bodies. And they evaluated various technologies, and they found Alphamers technology to be the most promising technology to make a big difference to the water bodies in India. So they told us that you are the winner of this challenge.
So yeah,
And they still,
congratulations for that, and your team as well, like for getting that award.
thank you.
And also, speaking of renewable energy and all the other aspects as such, I want to know, what is that you are doing in Alphamers? Do we need any fossil fuel for that? Or also, the second part of the question will be, like, how exactly the management will go, like the energy demands.
Okay. Renewable energy is very interesting. There's a tremendous amount of ocean wave energy out there,
Yeah.
tremendous amount of wave energy in the tidal streams, and we have not even touched a drop of that ocean, you can say. I know as a captain, these waves can bend steel pipes. That's the amount of strength it has. We have not gone into that seriously so far, but the country, the internationally, it is still very, very in its infancy, this technology. So we know that if you put anything in the waves, it is going to be going up and down in the waves, harmonic, non-harmonic waves, whatever. And if you convert that to usable forms of energy, it is very good. The supply demand is a little different issue here. Wave energy is a seasonal energy. It's like when the wind blows, like northeast monsoon. Along with that, you will have strong waves. It's seasonal. Whereas the tidal streams are as per the tides every few hours.
Yeah.
Flood and the ebb stream become strong, they slow down, they stop, they turn around, and again slowly pick up speed and become strong. So the turnaround part of it, you are not going to get much energy. You're going to get perhaps 3.5 to 4 hours of energy out of a 6 hour tidal cycle.
Okay.
But when you get this free with a very low carbon footprint, you have to learn to manage the supply and demand. That is, either you buffer it in some manner or you feed it into the grid where you do not have to meet the exact production cycle. You know, the tidal cycle is something that doesn't exactly coincide with our 24-hour day.
Yeah.
It's always a little late every day. So you cannot combine that with the consumption of a factory because he is going to go for work at the same time every day. So you have to make use of this renewable energy as much as possible to reduce your fossil fuel consumption.
That is true. Also, given the fact that wave power has lot more energy when compared with wind or solar. So, lot of extensive work is going on in these two sectors. Maybe in the coming days we can expect to have some more, work going on this sector as well. And also, Srinivasan, speaking of, like, as Sekar mentioned, drafting those designs and then going into the, like, working models. Can you, throw some light on how the various, designs which are working or going on as of now in Alphamas, please?
Yeah, we are currently doing the design for integrated skimmers.
Hmm.
So this we are climbing. We are giving a good efficiency compared to other who's doing the same field. So
Mm-hmm.
also we are working on the dual axis solar tracing system. So this can give the good power efficiency in the other single axis solar tracing system. And so we are doing the design stage of work in uh, wave powered wave energy harvesting. So
Okay.
we are working the design on it. Yeah, these are the undergoing process and design.
Awesome, awesome. Like if you can, complete this wave energy one and completely, floating devices, it will be much more commendable. Like, adding some more cherry on the cake, like that will be among your innovations. And also, Sekar,
Yeah.
can you briefly explain this barrier technology, how it is working? Since you mentioned that you don't use, any fossil kind of fuel or like, resources for that matter.
Yeah, this floating barrier is a very simple device.
Hmm?
It it's very rugged. It has got a very high tensile strength because the force of a river can be quite huge when the flow becomes stronger.
Yeah.
This stops the surface crash and allows the water to flow past through the barrier or from under the barrier. And because of the way we deploy it, all the trash slides down and comes up to the river bank. So thousands of tons of plastics have been captured by these barriers without using a single drop of fuel, without a single kilowatt hour of power. Why? Because the river has so much of energy in the flow. We have used just. You can
Yeah,
also, yeah,
yeah. Adding to your fact, can you please give the number, like how much your trash has been saved by using this technology barriers?
in 2017, we had deployed this in one river. And at the end of 1 year, the first year, we were told that 22,000 tons of trash was stopped, which included 10% plastics. This was
Great.
stopped from the sea.
Yeah, that's really, a great, achievement I can say, because there are lot many things interlinked to this. When the waste enters into the ocean, it also not only affects our food chain, it affects our marine and aquatic animals. So in turn, there is a huge ecosystem which is there under the water, which we might feel that the ecosystem which we are having outside the water bodies is great and huge, but in actually the matter of fact to say, there is lot more things happening under the water. So that if if we some way we alter the balance, what happens is there will be lot of issues, and also especially when an intrusion materials are adding to that, which is not natural. So of course the problem will be rising again and again. And that's awesome to know that you saved so much amount of trash going into that. And coming to the next part of this renewable energy and using that in the form of wave converters, can you throw some light on that part as well?
Okay. If you see the internet, you might find 50 different illustrations
Hmm?
of how people use this wave motion
Yeah.
and to convert to usable form of energy. There are few prototypes. Maybe altogether, I don't think there is more than 10 working prototypes. And we may had made one where the waves would lift up certain floats, certain big cylindrical floats, and they would turn a shaft. It's a low speed, low RPM turning of the shaft. And using gearing, we increase the speed, and then with the low speed alternator, we convert that to electrical power. That's what we tested, and we're quite happy with that test. Now we are going to a little different, a little more rugged model where any direction of motion, the pitching, yawing, or rolling of any such structure in the water, it will pump certain fluid, and that is the stored energy it will use. So we are
Okay.
using this in two ways. We are designing one is for a power plant
Okay.
model, and another one is a wave powered boat.
Boat.
So that's right. So this
Yeah.
boat is a very small boat, but with an extraordinary cruising range, remote control boat that will power itself with the ocean waves.
Oh,
And
that
yeah,
that
you see,
sounds
solar.
That sounds really exotic and exotic topic because this is hot researching area now because electrification and converting all those things because of this global warming, climate change. This will gain much more traction, I feel, isn't it?
Definitely, this is the way ahead.
Yeah.
And we are just taking one step out of turn to be ahead and then start our research. And in a short while, we are very sure about what we are doing. Actually, by the time myself and Srinivasan sit and discuss a design, we more or less know that it will work. There is perhaps the because we have already run through these
Yeah.
things in our mind. Mind is a fantastic design simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when
So,
you imagine the design, you know for sure that this is going to work. And
mm-hmm.
quite often we get it, most of it right. And some once in a while, of course, some of the design may not work out 100%. So you do design iterations and improvise and deliver. Yes.
So having a blueprint in your mind is very much required for you to, make it into a product, into reality 3D model. So which is correct, and lot more like we need so much of thinking and designing part going for that. And also, coming to the end of the interview, Shekhar, I want you to ask few things like, what is your personal life journey when you compare with all this the what a market needs and all those things, including each and everything? What are the three key learnings which you got in this whole life journey? If you want to say three key things, what would that be?
Uh, One of the things I would like to tell my fellow countrymen is if you want something to be done, if you can do it, get up and do it. Take the initiative. Otherwise, you'll forever wait. My life is going past. I cannot wait until the government and the municipalities and the ULBs and all those people, they actually clean up all the water bodies. It's not easy. And technology is something to be developed by people like us. Government, in its wisdom and with its resources of funds, they will patronize the right technology. So you have to create these technologies. You cannot wait for the world to solve the problems. Your life is going past. You want to live with clean water bodies in your lifetime, you might as well get up and do something about it. I would like to mention that when you embark on an entrepreneurial journey, you need a very supportive family
Correct.
because life is very, very like a roller coaster. And especially for a family which is used to working class people, there's the stability of working class people, the paychecks that come at the end of the month, and how you go and enjoy your vacation after switching off the work. It is a different world here. You get up in the morning and you're looking at your mobile and you're looking at the progress. So you need a supportive family, and there are sacrifices to be made. But to achieve anything, yes, sacrifices are necessary. And I would like to mention that the human ingenuity and intelligence is a very, very per capita resource, and it is very equitably distributed around the world, better than oil resources and diamonds.
Yeah.
So, for a country like 1.4 billion people, we can do so much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Each of us is blessed with a human mind that can think intelligently, creatively, and solve the problems around us as good as anybody around the world. So it's time we make it a habit to do that.
Yeah, so also I guess this will be your answer if for the question, when people ask you like how being an entrepreneur in India, like is it a boon or bane if someone asks you, maybe this would be your answer, isn't it?
When I was in Singapore, I was working in Singapore actually after my shipping days for a couple of years, and
Oh,
then when
nice.
I decided to come back, yeah, I did finance management there and executive management in Bangalore. So when I was about to come back, my friends were asking me, "How will you manage in business? It's a very, very choppy
Mm-hmm.
waters, not easy." So I did mention over there we have opportunities because the environment is not easy. If it
Ah,
was easy, probably it would have been all saturated long time back. That is one. Second thing is, if I were my identity is so much connected to my country, if I make my country better, whatever little part I can do, that adds to my pride, my satisfaction, my happiness, and that of my family.
I am really overwhelmed by the answer because somewhere even I can relate to this. I am such a person, I'm really proud to be an Indian, or really proud to be even say, being and brought up in Karnataka. I love my place and whatever it is. I'm not saying we don't have any demerits. Like there are a lot of tangling issues going around. But at the end of the day, I want to do something for my country, or like for the people who are very near to me, near and dear to me. So I feel that, I can relate to you on that point. Doing something here instead of focusing on all the problems, why don't we make use of that opportunities which are lying around? That was your giveaway. So yeah, that was pretty nice. Three things which you told about your life, and also Srinivasan, talking about you. So being an engineer requires lot of imagination and your curative power to actually translate your ideas into a prototype model. So in the coming future of this Alphamers, like what do you see being an designer in that particular
Mm.
company? How do you see the future there?
Yeah, actually, in Alphamers, what I learned, the idea, what Shekhar sir always used to tell, the idea is come from anywhere and at any time. Yeah,
Okay.
he always used to tell like that. So we have to bring the solution. For the solution is bring from the ideas only, the basic ideas. It may come from any small spark. So that ideas will become our solutions, and in between the idea and solution there are a lot of transitions, like
Mm.
making a drawing, and from the drawing we have to choose the right process of making a product, and
Yeah.
finally so the product is related to give the solution. So uh, this is what we are doing in our Alphamers. So this solutions is always our like how we are always compare with our solutions only, what we are done earlierly, what is the present result, what is
Mm-hmm.
will be the future result, what we need to achieve. So because in Alphamas, whatever the product we are doing, it's something different from the other uh, uh, companies and other uh, people what they are doing. So ours is always something different from the world. I can say like that.
I can see, so much pride and happiness in your face when you're saying about that, and you are really happy about whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad, that you are doing something which you love so much. And also, what you are trying to say was basically solutions are not, hidden somewhere, and that's what you are trying to say, isn't it? It's like everywhere
Yeah.
available. Only thing is you need a perspective, see it, to perceive it,
Yes.
and then to make it into a plan and then deploy it. And
Yes.
yeah, action matters. So, and there are various transition phases, as you mentioned correctly. And also, speaking of this, all the various phases and transition happening, Shekhar, can you tell me that you are not only in one company's director, you are particularly working in two. You manage like both the works. Like, how do you tackle these things? Because you have to switch between these two things.
Yeah, we work 25 hours a day and 8 days a week. So that is the reality. But when you do something creative, when you stand and look back, and that energizes you, that gives you the energy.
So
In
true.
fact, when I close my eyes, I think we don't think of the top lines and the market penetration. We think about what is the next problem we can solve, and
Yeah.
the growth comes by itself. I wanted to ask you in turn a question.
Okay. Yeah, this is surprising. I don't usually get questions. Yeah, please carry on.
How would you get a sense of direction in the night sky?
How would I get a sense of direction in the night sky? Is your question, isn't it? Actually, to be frank, I'm really bad at direction even in the broad daylight. So, as for the question which you are saying for the night time, for say per se, like I will try to figure out, moon, so that I can get the track of that direction at least. That will be my first point.
How does it tell you? How does the moon tell you the direction? Tell me if you
At
see the moon.
at least this east and west things will be like confirmed. No.
How? You have to wait until you see the moon moving.
Yeah, yeah. So you caught me there. So please, please, please give me a question so that I stop embarrassing myself, with this, please.
No. Okay. Most of the people would talk about pole star. Thankfully, you didn't speak about pole star. Pole star is not a
I
very bright star.
actually,
Hmm.
to that point, adding, I remember pole star, but the thing is, I don't know if I can, figure that out at that moment. So yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you a different way. When
Okay.
you see the crescent of the
Okay.
moon normally you see the crescent.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you look at the moon, you stare at the moon and you say that, look, that moon is not shaped like a crescent.
Hmm.
It is actually a ball. Moon is a
Okay.
ball, right?
Uh,
It is not shaped
very.
actually like a crescent. You are seeing the brighter side of the moon as a crescent.
Yeah, yeah.
The moon is actually a ball. You know that it's a ball. It's
Okay.
round.
Yeah,
It's like a sphere.
yeah.
And there's a torch shining on that ball from one side
Hmm.
that is lighting up that ball.
Okay.
And that torch is nothing but the sun.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah, sure.
so when you see the crescent, you imagine that's like a ball, and one side of that ball has been lit up by a torch.
Yeah, sun, which is
You
sun.
know
Okay.
where is the sun, where under the horizon the sun is. The crescent is all the time pointing to the sun.
So,
Let me show you by hand. If the crescent is like this,
okay,
from the center of the moon, you join a line through the center of the crescent, extend it down,
okay,
the sun will be there.
okay.
You see, when you have a ball, I'm so sorry,
That's
when you
okay.
have a ball, on one side the light is lighting.
Hmm.
If the sun is here, you will not have the crescent on this side. You will have the crescent on the same side of the ball where the light is coming from.
Oh, then it is west.
Yeah, if you see that at 7 o'clock in the evening, it is west. If you see that 5 o'clock in the morning, it is east. But the key is the
Oh,
crescent of the moon is telling you where the sun is at all times. And it's easier
oh.
to see the moon than to see the pole star.
Correct, correct. Oh, now that I can go and flaunt in front of my friends saying, "Do you know this direction? How exactly, like, do you want to know from me?" I will definitely go brag about it later after this, session.
I will tell you
Definitely.
one more thing. This is
Okay.
not written in any book.
Okay. Yeah. Surprisingly. Go on.
It is not in any book. And I must have told this to maybe few thousand people so far. Everybody understood it in 1 minute, but nobody ever remembers having read this in any book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a strange thing how we miss the obvious around us.
Okay. Go
And
on. Please go on. Yeah.
this innovation is nothing but picking up this small gaps, what we haven't observed, make a simple solution based on what is around us. You don't need always very complicated solutions. A
Yeah.
lot of times a simple solution would do. Our floating barrier looks very simple, but we are the only people who thought about it
Mm-hmm.
in this world, big wide world.
Yeah. That's like you can definitely brag about this. I'm saying you. So you wanted to say something else, right? That the surprising factor which was not written in any books.
This about the moon.
Okay, the very same thing. Yeah, yeah, I got it. Actually, even I do agree, Sekar, because I have not read this anywhere. How the actually we know that it is spherical, and because and the moon is a translucent object, it doesn't emit light. Only what it happens is like it reflects back the whatever sunlight is coming. This fact we know, but we never gave it a thought, regarding the direction sense point of view. That opens up my mind in like so many ways, that oh, something which is so obvious and we don't even think of it, like, right? Yeah. So that was one good session with this. Actually, I think that I should have one segment in my in the coming episodes wherein I get to know the surprising events, whether they can ask me or like I should be the one who asking them. So yeah, I will take this away from your session. I will definitely remember this to add some segment into this in the coming episodes. So thank you so much for that, and thank you Srinivasan for joining and sharing your opinions with us. It was one full
Yeah,
fun
thank you.
session, I can say, wherein I actually in this session even I got to talk so much, so I'm happy about that part as well. So thank you guys so much, and I hope my best wishes for you for all the coming innovations, and I really hope that it reaches many peoples, and the waste which you have decreased from 20,000 tons to like it might go to like metric tons and million tons. I hope that happens soon, and yeah, more sustainable future ahead. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much, Pooja. Wonderful talk.
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment. I would love to read them. You can find me on Instagram at getsetgreen.in. You can DM if you have any suggestions. The 3 R's of sustainable living are reuse, recycle, and most importantly, reduce. Stay tuned until next episode.